would not have been a thing if this exhibition didn't happen. I can tell you for a fact, from with this exhibition not happen with this exhibition not happening and not being as close as it was, I don't think we would have gotten the Chicago versus New York 3v3. So the thing is that with a lot of the previous Ronin rivals, they've kind of been like, washes, like, 10 threes, 10 twos, 10 O's. So they kind of had like a trend going. This was arguably like the first one that went down to the wire, and it definitely had a winner that a lot of people was not expecting. So if you had looked at this card at the current date or at the date that is within the card of May 28th, I think everyone would have put a safe bet on Najee winning, but that wasn't the case. I ended up coming out on top 10-9, and the only way I would have won that was if I actually had a game plan and a strategy. If I didn't go in there, if I didn't have a heads up, of a few days before going into this, if I just went in as is, I would have lost, because the last time we played before this was in Ronin Rumble off stream, and I lost 2-1. But the loss I had was very crucial in a lot of things that, I did not cover for, and I just wasn't prepared for. So I had to do my homework going into this, and luckily I played Najee before, and I was able to clutch out a win there. So I can honestly believe that if I did not win this Ronin Rivals here, this exhibition would not have been a thing. This would not have happened. I guarantee you that. So, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the exhibition here, because we are going to break down some matches, review some stuff, go through the tapes. We're going to be going through it differently, a little bit differently than usual. So we're going to be going through the tapes in a little bit of a fast pace. Like, it's 2 hours of footage. There's no way that we can sit through. I'm not trying to analyze every single thing that happened here. Just a bunch of crucial moments and crucial matches. And so we'll get into that in just a moment. But I have to give a background story on this exhibition here and why this came to be. So, after having the previous exhibition with Najee, I was actually approached to do a Chicago versus New York exhibition. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of doing regional battles, and I was going to originally back out, but when they mentioned to me that it was a charity event for Black Lives Matter, I kind of couldn't really fall back and not play for the cause. So the thing was that I was kind of questionable about it, mainly because the teams were already preset. So Team New York was already Najee, Tega, and Sonic Soul. And the original team was myself, Seth Series, and Zach in the Box. So, at that point in time, I understood why they went with that team, mainly because all three of us were from Chicago. We've all participated in the Ronin Rumbles before. And, they, assumed it would be a pretty good idea. I, however, knew that this would not have been a exciting exhibition because of the current team builds. Najee, Tega, and Sonic Soul are pretty much a very well-rounded team that actually complement each other well. Let's see. Najee is pretty much your explosive player, very aggressive. Tega is more of he's a calculated player, but can also maul you down. So he can play various matchups. Najee can cover very patient players, so he can cover the defensive guys. He can crack them. Tega can play both ends of the court, straight up. And Sonic Soul is just pretty much just your all around neutral based player, very solid, good decision making. And but the funny thing is that he specializes in rushdown. So at the end of the day, that's a really well rounded team. The original team we had with me, Zack, and Seth series is not a bad team. However, I don't think we covered each other's weaknesses as well as this team could. And so, in order for I did not want to go through it with this team, with that team originally. So I end up suggesting that I switch the teams. So in order for me to actually feel like we can have a good showing for this, I wanted to build a team that could cover each other well and also give us some type of some X factor. Yo, what's up, Nightmare? Thanks for tuning in. So I went with them. Yo, what up, Beautiful Swan? What's good? So I went ahead and asked them if I could switch the teams, and they allowed me to. I ended up having to talk to. The thing was that they already had talked to Zach and Seth, so I had to pull them to the side and ask them if they would step down for this, because as much as I know they wanted to do it, it's just that I wanted to try to increase our chances of winning for Chicago, and I felt that the current team would not be strong enough to fight against the team that we were set up to face. So I talked to them, they all understood, and they put the trust in me to put a team together that would, get us a win. So the thing was that before I asked them about that, I had already knew who I wanted to go in the exhibition with when they told me Team Chicago. Before they told me who was involved, they already said Team Chicago. I was like, well, I already know what two people I'm picking if I'm fighting New York. So before I even went to them, I actually needed to make sure that whoever was going to be on this team, I needed my X factor to be committed, and so I ended up hitting up T-Bola. If he would have told me that he couldn't have done it, I don't know if this exhibition would have happened, or even would have went down the way it did. So when I talked to T-Bola and he told me he was in, I had already fully committed to being like, all right, bet I can easily talk Kilo into doing this, straight up. If he hears this is me and T-Bola, I'm pretty sure he'd be down. And talking with Kilo definitely did happen. So I'll go ahead and talk about our team here. So obviously I am the more patient, zoning type of player. I play more defensively than anything. Kilo is a very aggressive grand player. Definitely he's like that firecracker you need for to kind of rattle your opponent. And T-Bola is, like I said, he is our X factor. I needed him on this team, otherwise we weren't winning. That's just a fact. I think anybody who now currently has heard of or seen T-Bola do work now understands that when I say if T-Bola was not on his team, we weren't winning, no, I'm speaking truth. So the main reason why I picked T-Bola, I get it. Why would you pick a Luane? Well, one, he is arguably one of the best Luane players I have ever fought. And two, at this time, New York really did not have a lot of Luane experience at that level. So I needed to make sure that going into this, that these two guys, Kilo and T-Bola, were being as comfortable as possible going into this exhibition, because T-Bola's fairly new to the FGC. Kilo's been around for a little bit here and there. He just hasn't really played on a big stage like this for an exhibition or anything like that, at least to my knowledge. So I wanted to make sure. My thing was that I'd have to just keep myself together, because unfortunately, I will be honest here, I am the weakest link when it comes to fighting these guys, because I have lost to all three of these guys in tournament before. Najee, Tega, and Sonic Soul have all beaten me in tournament, so I'm technically the weakest link in this team here. So I end up pretty much building a team around me to help get the edge. So after that, we end up confirming and going to having a lot of discussion about how we were going to approach it. So the thing was that I always make sure that if I'm going into a team battle, I always go in the mindset of playing not to lose. Everyone has the mindset of playing to win, and I truly believe that is an okay thing. If you look at my pinned tweet, right here, it's brother, I ain't trying to be respectful. I'm trying to win. But yeah, and playing to win or playing not to lose means you're trying to win. And so that means I'm going to have to do as much digging as much digging as possible to make sure that we get information on that. So because Kilo has a little bit of experience of playing some of these guys and actually sitting down and talking with them, we all pretty much had like a little bit of a round table. Like I need to make sure where my guys were, how comfortable they were, and where can I put them, or at least like have what I need to do as a team captain to have them in a comfort zone where they can just go off. Because if T-Bola and Kilo go off, we can win. We can run it. That was the most important thing about this. So, pretty much, I end up doing a lot of research myself to help prep for these guys, because after sitting and talking to them, both of them were more worried about Tega than Najee and Sonic Soul. So, that pretty much meant that I had to be the one to take on Tega. And everyone knows that Lance Switch and Matera is not fun for Matera, but if it means that these guys can play at the best as possible, I'm going to have to take up that task. So let's go ahead and move on to the pretty much all the matchup notes I end up taking to play these guys. Let me go to the full screen here. Let's see, monitor capture. Here we go. So, these are the notes I wrote prior to the 3v3. So, and I shared these notes with these guys. Now, they're a little bit like, free form and free willed and whatnot. And this is, of course, notes from these guys 3 months ago. Note that at the time of this stream here, these players have evolved to be much better at dealing with stuff. So my notes are a little bit free form. So I had to make sure that I had to deal with Tega, so I went ahead and watched a lot of my matches with him to make sure I can, take advantage and have a mental note on what I can take advantage of, where I'm at disadvantage of, what is his strengths and weaknesses. So pretty much, I end up having to, take notes like, he's willing to walk you down. I understand all these guys are Street Fighter players, so I have to take advantage of, the mentality of a Street Fighter player playing these games. Luckily, I played a little bit of Street Fighter, so I have an idea of how they would want to naturally approach. So with Tega, I noticed that he liked to walk down. He liked to walk people down to the corner. He's very confident in his neutral game, so he's willing to do that. My thing is that when I got too close to him, he would press close light, because that is the Lancelot option. He's also one that will definitely take the offensive advantage if the opponent is unsure of himself. So pretty much hence this note here. I do note that the more that the opponent is actually more active in neutral and trying to play offense, he will he will hang out. But if you're not, he will press pressure on you. So I also took advantage that a lot of my wins on him was that when he was at a life disadvantage, he struggled a bit in some life disadvantage situations. I also noticed that he liked jumping forward a lot and jumping out of the corner a lot, so I had to pretty much air throw the shit out of him. Like I mentioned, jumping forward a lot. I had to prioritize killing him. If I touched him and I could actually put him and I was in kill range, I needed to kill him. I can't let him live. He's one of those players that, if you honestly, all these players, if you let them live, they will kill you. That is definitely their specialty. Let's see. Obviously, the option select. And then, of course, for these, since I'm sharing my notes with these guys, I gave them footage to look at them. Sonic Soul had a set with Tega that was pretty successful for him in Ronin Rumble Week 12. So I had them go look at that. For Sonic Soul, I had to make sure that I had my whole game plan in summary here was I had to take advantage of his offensive and defensive tendencies. Had to make sure that EX air shot was not a factor. I had to make sure that I was always keeping him on defense. If I have him playing the neutral game where he got his offense started, it was going to be trouble. I needed to make sure that I dominated range 1 and range 2. The only thing I could actually do, get a good example of for these guys was Diaphon's game plan against him in NLBC Week 8. Against Najee, I pretty much was like, no, had them like a mindset that I was like, in the case of emergency, I had already played a 10v10 against them. The thing is that, like, you probably noticed, I don't have too many notes on Najee, and that's not really like a bad thing. It's just more the fact of, like, Najee has a gameplay that is pretty straightforward but extremely powerful. Like, if you're not careful, you just explode. So it means that, yes, if he does get started, you'll get blown up. However, it does make his game a little bit straightforward and linear, so it's a little easier to, like, watch out for things. So pretty much, watching out for shimmy situations, like not to press. Um, I don't have it in here, but we talked about it. Like, sometimes it's just better to take the throw in a lot of situations. Um, he has a DP trigger. Like, most players, like, know that has like a DP trigger. If you're in a certain range, they will more than likely DP you if you're in the air, or like, so pretty much, setting up like, sync jumps or anything like that that looks like that he could that opponent would DP, go ahead and trigger off. So, and of course, I gave video footage of, offensive of an advantage to, like, study for these guys, and that was Ronin Rumble Week 12 with Sonic Soul playing versus Najee. So, as you probably already noticed, lots and lots of preparation and studying going into the match here. So, I gave these notes to these players with the understanding that these guys were going to go ahead and do their own studying, do their own lab work, because I trust in them to get that taken care of. So that wasn't my worry. My worry was getting these guys to play, comfortably. That is the biggest thing, because if these guys don't do that, then we lose. If these guys can't get started at any point, we lose. So, going into this whole thing, let's see if we can pull up this video footage. Well, before I do that, I do want to say that, like, the reason why I had all this information is because there's a big, like, when it comes to strategy, you have to also take into consideration, like, the type of gameplay that's presented and how to combat that. So this right here is a battle of East Coast and Midwest. So with Midwest players, they have their strengths for the most generally. This is general, not everyone, but in the most aspects, most Midwest players fight to not allow the opponent to have things. Our most game plans are, you can't have control of this. You can't have this. I won't let you have that. And at the mid-level, it's more of, I don't want you to have these things because it's going to make things harder for me over time. At the higher level, it's, I'm not letting you have these things because these are the things that you like. And if you can show me that you can play without them, then we move on to the next phase. And if you outplay me there, GG's, you got it. So that's how most Midwestern general gameplay goes. When it comes to the East Coast, a lot of these guys are really good at challenging and escaping a lot of situations. So you'll see a lot of delayed abare, up back, throw, like, defensive throws. Like, they're good defensively and, like, in turning the momentum in their favor quickly. So, like, that pretty much, means that, like, if you have them on defense, you need to make sure that your offense is tight or you getting washed. And the funny thing is that, like, they all have to deal with themselves and they hate dealing with that as well. But, like, if you're within a region and you deal with a regional playstyle that you do, you're also going to hate it, because Midwesterners also hate it when you take things from them as well. That's just general. Like, so I wanted to make sure that these guys made game plans that would, allow them to take advantage of their natural gameplay so that we can get a better chance to win. And with that being said, that pretty much, discusses the, regional discussion there. So let's go down to the 3v3 here. So I'm going to full screen this. full screen. Let's have this discussion. All right.
Represent justice. Right. Represent the right thing to do.
Don't need
and
too much
everyone, if you donate, if you
I want to go ahead and make sure that we are discussing things. So,
on the other side,
the first match was putting Tega up, and then us putting out T-Bola. So this right here was pretty much a data game. I needed to make sure that these guys knew what they were dealing with, so I wanted to have T-Bola and Kilo go first, and I was gonna play the anchor. So I wanted them to know what they were gonna deal with, and just test out their gameplay and theory to see if things would work, which is a very important part to continue on with the strategy and evolving said strategy to get a W, and see if and play to avoid certain situations from happening later on that would end up in a loss. So I pretty much wanted these guys to see how far we can go with the information they had and going in for game one. So, with that being said,
their respective charities,
we will put this at about 3 times speed. All right. So we'll bring it down. We'll do 2 times speed. So pretty much T-Bola is really good at running the offensive game here. But the thing is, these guys were unsure about Tega, so it was kind of a good thing that Tega went up first. So they got to actually see what he was going to deal with. So pretty much from what I saw there, as you see here, neutral situation. These guys are kind of just pretty much battling out to try to get to the corner. But Tega is able to escape out of these situations. T-Bola able to try to deny certain situations here. Unfortunately, not able to pin down Tega, as you can see, because now he finds himself in the corner. So, unfortunately, trying to fight out doesn't really work out. He's pretty much in a bad spot here, and he does have access to the Jaeger, so unfortunately gets hit, and that puts him out. So, pretty much is what I stated. Every time T-Bola was actually able to catch Tega, he wasn't able to contain him. Like, his offense at the time was just in that game was just not strong enough to call out reversal options or any defensive Abare chances or anything like that, and he just could not pin him down. So T-Bola could not get started because he could not deny him what he wanted, and that led into a loss there. Moving on. So then I believe we put Kilo up next. We're going over the first match because this is definitely one of the most important. Oh, no, I think I went next. Let's see. Okay, so. Okay, I remember this. So, the reason why I went second is because Kilo felt comfortable playing the anchor position. So, I went up to see if all the stuff that I worked on and strategized was actually going to work. So, watch my speed. Want to make sure that I can put all these things that I've taken note on into practice. And this game one is definitely to see that. Slow down, pace, being active. Pretty much slow down the game. Did not call out the jump. Put me in the corner immediately. I'm able to fight out, but as you see, you see a lot of me pressing a lot of buttons and whiffing a lot of things to, keep Tega's mind wandering in other places. Because key note is, if I'm too passive, he's going to run in at me. The last thing I want is Lancelot running in at me. Did not call out any defensive approaches, but yep, still moving, keeping things active. Yeah, just like constantly just slowing the game down, keeping things active. I unfortunately in the corner, but we escaped. But yeah, the longer the game goes, the better it is for me. But unfortunately, I get caught, and that ends up giving Tega the round. So he immediately runs at me because he notices that I was trying to slow the pace down. He wanted to change up the tempo, which then he caught onto, and it pretty much got him a good situation and the game. So yeah, so that's good on Tega. He ended up understanding what my game plan was and picked up the tempo, and I was not ready for it. So that gave him the advantage right out of the gate. So, let's try to go back down. I ended up turning my matches up to like 3 times speed, mainly because I play at such a slow pace. F. Charlotta, yes. Alright. This one is where I was like, I needed to see how comfortable Kilo was. He was the one I was like a little bit more concerned about, because I felt that if I can't get him to play like he naturally does, we're in trouble. So, goes in. Unfortunately, gets called out immediately. But, able to get going. Ends up losing a little bit of momentum. And because of that, it's called out. And pretty much very standard Kilo round. But, unfortunately, he wasn't able to close it out. But, it's this situation. Woo! Let's go back a little bit. Sped up a little too fast. Alright. Nice. But yeah, pretty much this is what I want from Kilo. Calling out the defensive option to key the notes that I gave him. That's why I was able to get that round. So, pretty much, I'm at the point where, okay, he's doing what I need him to do, and the team needs him to do. But Tega, of course, very strong player, very good at adapting. Something that you have to take into consideration. Also, this is the first game. Looking for something? Oh my gosh. And they got it. So, pretty much, this pretty much told me that Kilo can definitely play around very well. If need be, we can rely on him to deal with Tega if necessary, if things aren't working out well for me. So, this here is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Sonic Soul in Kilo, because my thing was that I felt kind of confident in the mirror, but obviously me and Sonic Soul did not want to play the mirror. So I'm pretty sure this was pretty much a dance of let's try to avoid this situation from happening, because we both don't like playing this matchup. So we're gonna do our best to like train up and make sure that we hold our weight to avoid playing said mirror. So Sonic Soul, from what I remember, played a lot at the back. Hey yo, pass! Shout out to all y'all. Thank you very much. Right. So for the guys coming in from the host, we are reviewing the 3v3, discussing strategy. You guys kind of missed out on a lot of the previous discussion, but I think you'll get an understanding of what we're doing here. So, back to this. I really wanted to see this matchup because I really felt that Kilo could actually, deal with Sonic Soul fairly well. However, yo, what up, Senpai Spider? However, I know Sonic Soul was actually labbing up Gran, because I low-key was watching his stream before this whole thing went off. So my thing was, I wanted to see if a lot of his training for Kilo was going to work, and I wanted to know if this is gonna be a problem or not. So we'll get into this, and we'll definitely see. Go to 2 times speed, because I feel that should be fast enough. Alright, Sonic Soul pretty much plays down. Kilo uses pretty much getting his 19 offense. However, Sonic Soul's just doing very well at just keeping Kilo at bay. Just calling him out for a lot of his aggressive offensive approaches. This is really good on him. This is what he was lacking at. Alright, gets the corner. But this is the thing I'll tell Kilo. He needs to keep his offense tight or you're going to get pressed on and you dead. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about like East Coast players. Like they're really good at like finding the gaps or knowing the gaps and just turning it around. Like we just essentially saw Kilo wait for an overhead and Sonic Soul was ready and was like die. And taking round one. This is what I was kind of hoping wouldn't happen, right? It's offensive range. That's the thing about Grand. Get a boot, you're now in the corner. Sonic Soul showing his pinches, escapes. Try to go offensive. Didn't work out too well, but back in the corner again. Fights out again. Baits the DP. No punish. He gets hit. Pretty much was able. That round he won mainly because he was able to deny Sonic Soul the offensive advantage he needed. That's what he needed to do the entire set. Alright. Sonic Soul goes back to the original plan, able to contain Kilo. Kilo having a really hard time, but gets the fireball. Gets pressure. Everything should have been tight. Not tight enough. Gets called out. Not dead, but he's going to be in a pretty bad situation. Alright. Challenge again. Challenge again. That's pretty much what I got from a lot of the whole scenario there. So, this was all the data I needed to know about what my players were feeling like. So, the thing is that I got the data to know that Najee didn't have to play, but he's definitely going to be a problem. Sonic Soul is ready for Kilo, and Tega is playing extremely clean. However, he cannot maintain control of Kilo. So, now that tells me that either I have to be really good at playing the mirror, or I have to be the one to take out Najee in order for us to, like, turn things around. So, at this point, yeah, it's an older set. Just talking about, like, how team-based strategies and discussions are going and whatnot, just to have that. So, pretty much. So, after losing this set here, I pretty much took it under my, like, I thought would be the good idea was to, pretty much, I would be the one to take on, Najee, because I pretty much, played him in a, first to 10 recently. And I really felt that, T-Bola could, take on Sonic Soul, so that was the plan after that game. I figured that would be the best route to go. Let's see. Appreciate it. I figured that would be the best way to go for the next game. At least that's how I'm feeling right now. Let's get back to this. Fast forward back to... We're going into game 2, because in game 2 we actually get to see Najee play. And we gotta fast forward this because we end up having a bunch of silly rules. So... Game. Alright.
Projectile wise, and then you just have her. And then if Oakley's smart enough, he can.
Alright, so the thing was that was the original game plan, but T-Bola was still kind of like not feeling it. So even with us knowing Najee was even though us knowing Najee was gonna be up, I felt that T-Bola still needed to get in his groove because that first round was definitely like not. It wasn't pretty much what we would all expect of T-Bola. Like I've seen this guy do work. Kilo's seen this guy do work. The entire city of Chicago knows. So the thing is that we're in a pressure situation, and so I wanted to see like how his mood was going to be and how I would have to like try to like, what would it take to get T-Bola to get in his comfort zone. So I felt that him playing point was less pressure, so that it would at least get him like a game or two, maybe a game, maybe two, he'll end up like finally getting in this groove. And I understand like best of one is really hard to do that in, and that's kind of what we all got hit with the mix with. I forgot to mention we all got hit with the mix. So a lot of us thought it was gonna be like 2 out of 3 sets for each one, but understandably, if we did that, this thing would have been 4 hours long. So it was the right call. It was just one that was not expected for everybody. So pretty much we're all going in with the best of one and having to adjust our mindsets for that. All right, so let's go to this, see how T-Bola plays this match about.
Fade out.
Alright. Pretty much, alright. There's a pretty corner. Defensive, gets out of the situation. Pretty good. Unfortunately, for the corner. But yeah, this is not zone. Don't want to be hit. If we're getting hit, and that's going to do damage and gets it down. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, we can turn that down a little bit. Yeah, we don't need the voice and commentary for that. But at the end of the day, T-Bola was able to get his offensive game going here and was able to get it going. There you go. So, deciding round. Get this. Pressure. It's a beta DP. Very nice. End up getting the jump out that I was telling you about. Able to find points of disrespect and points to jump out. Gets offense going. There we go. So, this is good because it gets T-Bola that confidence boost in the set. So the thing is, speaking of that, what's funny is that talking with T-Bola, he was actually he said he felt comfortable in the Vegeta matchup, which kind of gave me a bit of a relief, because I'm like, okay, then that means that means I can leave the duties on him to deal with Najee then. And then Kilo was already pretty much, doing work on, did very well against, oh my gosh, blah, 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 where's my notes? Tega. He was doing a lot of notes. He did very well that first game against Tega, so I figured, well, the thing is, I was like, well, that pretty much leaves me and Sonic Soul having to play the mirror. But my thing was that I pretty much had the confidence that one of those two would actually be able to do that. But that was, it was a little bit of a jump in the gun there on the call there. Right, Bubs? Oh yeah, yeah. Searchlight. This is literally like a week before you entered NOBC that for the first time ended up getting top 8. This is literally the week before that. So yeah, like the Buzz Carlos Lowane. So, with that information there, that pretty much tells us that he can hold his own against Audi. So let's just get to the next match. Speed up to 8, and this is where I want to see what's gonna happen here. So, 2 times speed. This should be good. Well, let's go 3 times. People are trying to play the zoning game, and it is definitely working out. That's to you. Just Tega is showing very strong defense here. Was able to lock down T-Bola, but just pretty much looking like an even battle here. Pretty much, gets the hit, cash out the damage, and so getting thrown. So pretty much these guys are pretty much looking pretty even if you are watching the match. But right now Tega is just pretty much getting the offense going and just able to keep T-Bola away from doing the things that he wants to do, that he's comfortable for. But gets caught up, is getting out of the corner, fortunately having to deal with a lot of this. Tagged up, calls out Yggdrasil. Very good. Alright. 1-on-1 rounds. Hey, thanks for the bits. Appreciate you. Alright, Rusher. But yeah, he doesn't get in the corner, which is good, but does not call out the escape. As I mentioned before, thanks for cheering, Greatest Gamer. As I mentioned before, the New York region is very good at pressing out of defense and escaping. So you got to keep the pressure on them. And with that, they end up turning the momentum quickly. So that pretty much told me that T-Bola did game plan around the notes. It's just that unfortunately he was I want to see the legend player he just tried. It'll happen. So that pretty much told me that, like, he does have a game plan. Unfortunately, just Tega was able to get out of his offensive pressure at that point. So then that pretty much forces me to step up, and I'm still pretty much like trying to like play the pace here. Unfortunately, from the last set, Tega knew that I did not want to play the fast game, so he made sure to like hound me the entire game here. As you can see, just immediate thrust in the very beginning. He was like, he understands what my game plan is and does not want me to deal with that. Get the call out. I was able to do the OS there. Slowing the game down. He's a little bit favorable, but I don't call him out. Now he's on me again. Just jump in, and I'm dead. Set. Alright. So I think this is actually the So, as I already mentioned before, Tega was able to stop me from actually getting my game plan going. He made a quick understanding of what I wanted to do, and he was like, "Well, he can't play the fast game. I'm not gonna let him slow it down." Going to this, Tega just on fire, just running at everyone, get everything going. All right, pressure. Kilo able to get his game going, gets a hit. Alright. Unfortunately takes a risk and gets killed for it. So that's the thing about Kilo, is that he's definitely a team member I absolutely need. The thing is that, his decision making at this time was just high risk, high reward. And it would work against a lot of other folks, but Tega ended up having a good understanding here of like what he was trying to do. And then was able to play at a pace to make it hard and punish him for his risky decisions. This is pretty much why you see Tega pretty much has forced Kilo to play Street Fighter with him. And if you're gonna play Street Fighter with these guys, you're dead, just like that. So pretty much Tega ends up getting the first OCB goes to Tega, and that's kind of one of the things I had to like get a grasp of these folks. So. This one, I want to say we sent T-Bola up a third time? Or was it Kilo or me? I don't actually remember who we sent up first. But yeah, we were pretty much having a discussion and like, quite the discussion to figure out who was going to go. Alright, so yeah, this is the, T-Bola was still like, just trying to get his bearings in. But he won the last one. I want to say it was me. I think I was in I needed break mode. Yeah, it was you. So yeah. Thanks for being in the stream, fam. We can definitely get your insight on that because you were in there. All right, want to say it was me? I don't think it was because I needed a break. Yeah. So pretty much, this was me getting the first eyes on this matchup here to see how Sonic Soul actually deal with T-Bola. But as you see, he's not trying to actually deal with T-Bola at all. He's just trying to kill him. He's like, I don't know, like, this is, I'll explain this tactic after this match is over. But as you see, now they're both kind of just fighting and winging for it. Able to get Yggdrasil off. Didn't get much off of it, but got a little something. Unfortunately. Hey. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Migos. Thank you, Mr. Migos, for the follow. And so, here's the thing. Now, I noticed this is a big thing when it comes to a lot of like mid-high level players. Is that there's a saying that like that goes in the West Coast, and it is, if you don't know the matchup, kick his ass. So that's kind of like, I've heard that so much when I had like on my trips out there, back in mid, like pretty much the late 2000s, and I kind of just laughed at it, but as like time went on, I started to see that that's a thing. So that, like, when I saw that, I pretty much was like, all right, so Sonic Soul doesn't have that much of a grasp on the matchup, so he's just gonna, whenever T-Bola's on the screen, he's just gonna try to kick his ass, and that's pretty much what happened. So that right there brings us to a point where I think Kilo goes up. Because Kilo really, really wanted to fight Sonic Soul, because in their previous meetup in a Ronin Rumble, Kilo was able to get the W. So Kilo felt confident in this matchup, and he wanted to go for it. But, as you already see, already sits the corner immediately, but fights out. This just becomes a slugfest between the two. Pretty much a slugfest. Sonic Soul keeps him out. Constant zoning. Getting him to overcommit. Kilo could not deal with what was going on. So that's why he lost that round. And every time he tried to call him out for something, he took a big risk rather than keeping it straight up, and got called out for it. So that there told me that Sonic Soul was well more than ready to take on Kilo. And now that means I cannot have Kilo fight Sonic Soul. I can't have that now. So that pretty much means, and with Tibola playing Sonic Soul the way he did then, that pretty much meant that I might have to play the mirror. So the thing is that I went in this one and I was like, I can't lose the Sonic Soul, because if I lose this, we could potentially get 5-0'd, because it's a heavy hit on a momentum shift in the mentality of our team. So I have to win this one. I have to win this one. If I don't, like, the team morale just drops significantly. So, no, I already played, I believe. Yeah, I fought Tega already, so. No. Wait, no, I'm about to say, yeah, this is the third set. So, yeah. I got mixed. I got mixed from Sonic Soul jumping off the cab. So, this right here is a crucial point in this set. If you play Lil Wayne and go to Strive, you gotta use files. Shoot. Let me look into it. We'll talk to him about it a little later. But yeah, this right here is a actual crucial point in the battle. This is where I have to win, or, like I mentioned, team morale drops severely. So I pretty much went in this with, I can't lose this one. I can't lose this one at all. I gotta pull something out my ass. So that was my mindset going into this. I was like, I can't lose to Sonic Soul. No, much respect to you, but I gotta kick your ass. But he's not gonna make it easy. We both having a little bit of uncomfortability playing this, but he rushed me down, and that right there pretty much told me that he looked at videos he looked at our last match and realized that he got a lot of advantage from just running at me. So I needed to make sure that I stopped this from happening. Alright? So I became more aggressive. In order for me to not be on the defensive end, I have to be just as aggressive, which is outside of my natural play style, but I'm trying to win. So this one, pretty much, now he wants to play the zoning game, and I'm like, okay, I'm patient with doing this, but I still need to get offense going. And keeping things tight, but unfortunately he was able to escape. As a combo limit, I'm now trying to, like, play at a disadvantage. Now here's the thing. I have the life lead, but I'm at a disadvantage here. The thing is that, like, he pretty much has the high ground and has the advantage in a lot of situations, so I have to actually be aggressive on my approach. So I'm going to have to take some risk to, like, get that to close this out. If I don't, we lose. Alright, let's see here. Having to weasel my way in. And then doing a hop, was able to block that, not get a punish. Oh, well, that's an odd. Let me go back. So I want to go back a couple seconds. So let me put this at 150. Alright, block the super because I just hopped. I didn't commit to a button. Pressure. Ooh! He tried to go for high shot. He did not have high shot. So he didn't have high shot and he autopiloted into high shot instead of going to low shot, because that would have definitely won him the game. So I got very lucky there that he was not paying attention to his cooldowns. Or he was looking at my cooldown. Oh, no, wait. I'm looking at my cooldowns. Look, mix. He had no cooldowns at all, so he couldn't do anything. Getting mixed by looking at the wrong cooldowns. So Sonic Soul had 0 cooldowns to get the kill. That is why he made the decision there. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Which pretty much leads us to this song and dance here. And I pretty much had committed, well, that there pretty much told me, like, since he had already burned meter and, like, he had already had to use his cooldowns, I was just pretty much going to be stuck with just, shot, shot, low shot, shot, low shot, high shot, just keep him pinned down. He doesn't have the health to fight back. So, especially when I have SSBA to pretty much pin him down or add additional chip. That's why I was able to get the win there. He utilized his cooldowns. He put him in a bad spot. It got him a hit, but he was not able to get the kill because he had used his meter beforehand to try to snipe me from a potential jump, a hot button, and it didn't work out. All right. So I think they send up Najee. Yeah, because Tega had already played. No, Tega had not played. I'm not really sure. Either way, this pretty much is like the rematch, pretty much the rematch fight for us here, from 2 weeks prior to this. So going to this, I pretty much committed to I'm just gonna zone him. I do not want to commit to this. I don't mean the situation, but unfortunately, I ended up getting put in the corner extremely fast. All right, pressure. That's it. Yeah. So pretty much, he was pretty much got the. I'm pretty sure he got the tip on with Tega with like he wants to slow the game down. Don't allow him to do that. So Sonic Soul and Tega probably gave him that tip, and pretty much was able to run the game plan. So they pretty much locked me out of our game plan. So game 4 is pretty much the exact same. Pretty much the exact same, and we're already like an hour in, so we'll go to game 5. See, we will jump to game 5. All right, so the thing is, game 3 was pretty much a lot of the same of game 2. Yeah. So game 3 was a lot of the same of game 4. Game 4 was a lot of the same to game 3. I'm sorry, because that was the game. That was game 3. They ended up getting point, and game 4 was exactly the same thing. We did not adjust our game plan, and we shuffled our order, but unfortunately, a lot of us didn't adjust. So now we're pretty much have our backs against the wall. We have nothing left. We are down 4-0. So at this point, we were having pretty much an internal discussion with each other, and a lot of the guys are kind of freaking out because they kept looking at the score. But the thing is that out of all these sets, I realized that everyone was making slight adjustments here and there against everyone they went up against. So we essentially were figuring it out. The problem is that like we just weren't closing the games, and at this point, I needed T-Bola to go off, or we fucking lost. So I end up having to have T-Bola play the point, because I was like, I need him to play. I need the T-Bola I know that he is. Like, Kilo's finally getting his groove. I'm, like, finally getting into it. I'm figuring out and piecing things together. They've given me a lot of time to figure it out. Well, yeah. But yeah, I needed the T-Bola I know that has not placed at our locals, won our locals, and, let's see, I think it was also that Najee was on point, too. Yeah. So, the thing is, like, also, from the previous meet, T-Bola had beaten Najee as well. So this also pretty much gave us a lot of morale here. So pretty much, we're our backs to the wall. I'm sitting at point. I'm sitting at anchor, because I'll go back to that a little bit, because that was way faster than it should have been. We'll go at 3 times speed. Go back to the round, because that went way faster than I thought. So this order was all right. I need these guys to play it clean. I need T-Bola to kill it, and I was like, I'm gonna have to pretty much play the point of the anchor, because I'm not gonna put these guys in the highest pressure situation, because that ends up in a loss. The reason why I did this is because it actually goes back to a 5v5 exhibition I was in a couple years ago for Guilty Gear Sign. this was a very valuable lesson that I learned and everyone in Chicago Guilty Gear learned. So we were in losers finals for a 5v5 against Team Alabama. So the thing was is that Doran was playing Elfelt at the time, and a lot of the guys in Chicago did not know the Elfelt matchup like that, and Doran was playing on point. So I was kind of helped running the stream, but I'm still on the team, and so pretty much it was Sim that went up to fight Doran and he lost, and then out of nowhere, Elvin Shadow decided to take it upon himself to go up, and then he lost. At that point, I was trying to wave myself in, but no, because I'm like, I can't be the anchor, so I got to be third or fourth, right? So those guys, the veterans on the team, end up sending all of them up forward and put me last. I'm the most junior member of the team, and I now have to potentially try to do a run back sweep to keep us alive. Now, it's way too much pressure on a new player or a player who's not been in a exhibition situation like that. So, unfortunately, we lost, and I was crushed by that. Having that on, someone who hasn't ever been on a spotlight like that before can be devastating. So, I took it upon myself to make sure that didn't happen to these guys. I refused to put them both in the same position that I was in years ago. If we were going to lose, it was going to be because of me, and it was my fault. I wasn't going to put it on them. So I made sure to make sure that T-Bola and Kilo went in front of me to make sure that things were fine, went well. So the thing was that Kilo talked me out of it, I'm pretty sure, and Kilo was the anchor. So I didn't want to do it, but Kilo wanted to be the anchor. But I asked him, "You sure?" That's what he wanted. But if he wants to if someone wants to step up to the challenge of being the anchor for this type of situation, I'm not gonna stop them. But it definitely wasn't a call that I wanted to go with. But it was he felt comfortable playing anchor, and that's what he wanted to do. I'm still thinking about their comfort. I'm still thinking about their mentality and comfort zones here. But I really felt that we had a lot of information going into this to actually get a big win here. Turn the tide. It just all came down to is T-Bola gonna kill it? Is he gonna pop off? And can I manage the middle? All right, so let me go back over here. So we're gonna go to 2x speed. Pretty much a quick early start to get the corner. Pretty much Najee, pretty much DP zone that I mentioned before, but T-Bola feels very comfortable in this matchup, as he mentioned before. Gets the corner and gets the win. Alright. Able to get pressure. Najee pretty much having a hard time trying to get in, but eventually does. But T-Bola escapes, gets a mix. At this point, now Najee is on the back foot, but jumps out. Not a good call, but works out well for T-Bola. In the corner, though, whiffs the super and gets the kill. Now, the thing is, I'm not too surprised by this because we literally saw this early in the tournament. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. T-Bola was good. This is what I was worried about here. This was the matchup I was worried about, concerned about. I needed to see if T-Bola was going to be able to get it going against Tega. Because, as I mentioned before, both Kilo and T-Bola were more concerned about Tega than anyone else on the team. So, as I mentioned, that's why I had a lot of notes on Tega so that I could prepare for him. But T-Bola seemed to be playing very comfortable now. All right, but ends up getting put in the corner situation and ends up getting the cash out, puts him down. So ends up having to fight it back. Able to stop the momentum shift from happening. So that was very good. Ends up showing that he can defend against a lot of lane stuff. Pretty much forcing T-Bola to have to dig deep in his bag. But T-Bola fighting it out here. Able to get some type of momentum, but Tega fighting to make sure that T-Bola doesn't get his situation. Back dashes, jumps back, gets Yggdrasil. And blown up. There we go. So far, so good. Ends up just trying to slow the pace down. Gets a throw, gets the corner situation. Eat a little bit too much there, but like end up getting good meter. Calls out the suicide blade, gets the corner. Takes time, good patience on Tega. And just as soon as I say good patience, he ends up running right into cat missiles. So after this, I was like, I think T-Bola might be able to pull off the OCV. Because it's not like the losses he had to Sonic Soul was really bad. It was more so the fact that, he just couldn't he couldn't close it out. So it wasn't like he couldn't figure it out. It was just like, closing it out was the hardest part. So going into this. All right. Very good. Very good. So, yep. Ends up getting the corner. This is the same situation we've seen in before. Pretty much Sonic Soul just doing his best to kick his ass, not let him get the play. All right. So the thing is, when I saw that, I was like, there's a good chance he could lose, but I still felt that he could still win. But also, I felt that I was feeling really good in the mirror, so I would be able to take out Sonic Soul. So if T-Bola was to lose here, and I played against Sonic Soul and was to get another W, then we're fine, because then that puts Kilo at the point, and then we can just we can play from there. That was my mindset when this round when that round went down that way. Lots of pressure, gets the situation. Alright. It was the more same thing, but able to get out. Baits the super. Able to get the corner game going. Sonic Soul having a very difficult time understanding what's happening here, and gets the win. Going into round 3. A good breakdown. Alright. Pressure. T-Bola ends up pretty much taking his time out. Ends up getting the knockdown in the corner carry. Gets the corner situation. Just pretty much taking his time out, pretty much going to the zoning game, but ends up getting rush, and they have it. So with that, T-Bola pretty much just went off in this game. And so with that being said, he pretty much got us a good momentum swing. It isn't a big one because the deficit is still there. But this is good enough to go ahead and have the other players on the team feel comfortable. So with that pretty much forces us we're now in a situation where we have to play it out in a way that yeah. So pretty much our order is stuck now. Key importance here. Our order is stuck. As long as T-Bola is the one that closes the games out, we are stuck with me at point, Kilo in the center, Kilo in the middle, and T-Bola as anchor. So a lot of people will probably assume, well, Luane's not a good character. Well, he's not a good character. But the thing is that it all comes down to who, as long as I felt that as long as we can at least wear down the players, we can at least make things easier for him as the anchor at this point. And unfortunately, I was getting hella cooked by Najee in this exhibition. So since they knew I was up on front, they end up picking Najee to go first, which is a very good pick on their end. It's smart. I had not beaten Najee in any of these sets leading up to in this exhibition, so it was a good call on them. It's up to me to actually play it out. And in order for us to get some momentum, I have to win this. But I don't think that happens. But I'm getting a little bit more into the gameplay I want to play. I'm able to slow it down a little bit. The problem is this: just having a very hard time in actually establishing my game. And it's thrown. So this was a very good option and choice in the strategy for them. They're like, well, Najee's having a good time of dealing with Chris. So we're gonna go ahead and have Chris Najee deal with him. And I ended up getting it perfect. I was very much able to slow it down, call him out for a lot of options, so that pretty much gave me a little confidence. But we are back in the Shadow Realm. Fight out of it. Just trying to work this life lead, but it is very tough. As we're getting called out, and there it is. So that was a good call on them. Pretty much, I got picked apart towards the end there, and their pick was the right call. They end up having Najee going first was an excellent decision on their part. So the strategy for them is definitely working. Kilo, I believe, had a better time with Najee. The issue is that they're both pretty much very similar in a lot of aspects. The thing is that Najee just has a better footsie game than Kilo. I can tell you that. Damage output is on Kilo's side, but the footsie game is definitely in Najee's favor. Then of course risk reward. Najee's also taking that into consideration. Ends up getting the hit. It's going to lead a lot of damage and knockdown. Spot dodges and there. Pretty much force Kilo to make it a risk, and pretty much puts us in the same position we were in the last fucking game. God damn. So now we have to unfortunately we have to rely on T-Bola to pretty much get us out of this freaking hole again. So me and Kilo are not carrying our weight right now. The thing is, I was very confident in T-Bola to pretty much pull this off. He got a lot of momentum, and then me watching him play against Najee here, I felt that was a high possibility of it happening again. Is it? I guess here. Alright. So, it's just that Najee pretty much was it was pretty much obviously showing at this point that a lot of these guys did not have the matchup experience, on the exception of Tega. Tega had it appeared that out of all three team members on this team, it seemed that Tega had the most experience in dealing with Luane. So, to close it out, send out Tega. The thing is that I don't agree with this here, mainly because at this point, if it was very obvious that Tega had the better understanding of the Luane matchup than Najee and Sonic Soul. What should have happened here is Sonic Soul should have went second, because he did beat T-Bola 2 games prior to this. Prior to losing that one game from the last one, he did beat him twice before. So if I were them, I would have put Sonic Soul out to see if he can close it out, and then have Tega and put the pressure on T-Bola to fight the player who shown to have know the matchup better than the other members of the team. Maybe not to an extent to where it's perfect, but it's good enough. So this here was a minor glitch in the system. If they would have went with Sonic Soul and Tega, they probably could have closed it out here. But still, I actually understand them sending out Tega now, mainly because you can end it here. The thing is, I'm thinking about mentally wearing my opponent down. They're trying to end this thing now, which, as we already know the results of, does not work well in their favor. But, as you can see, pretty much Tega maintaining control, able to play it out, able to make T-Bola take a little bit more, a couple of risks, able to get out of a lot of situations. Pressure, up, back in neutral, able to get the corner situation. Unfortunately, loses out on a scramble situation. Yagurcil happens, and unfortunately, it's chipped out. That happens. So, the thing is, even though T-Bola won, it was still very close. Tega could have, dealt with the Yggdrasil situation better if he would have lived there. Could have probably closed the space out, and he still had SSBA available. Alright. As they're getting the corner, calls him out on the air throw. Very good on T-Bola. Gets the corner, keep him there, and I think that's a perfect. Now that right there is actually a hit to morale on Team New York. The one player who has the better grasp on the situation in the match just ended up losing now. So now you pretty much put the pressure on Sonic Soul to go ahead and get another W for your team to close this thing out. So now we're down to the anchors of the team. Going here. All right. Oh yeah. Also, oh yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, T-Bola. So, when I am not a fan of looking at in-game chat when you're in a tournament or exhibition, because it definitely sways you in a lot of ways of your decision making. Because people are straight up critical or extremely savage, and if you go ahead and look into a stream chat and it's got all that going on, it's gonna make you think twice about your decision making and slow your game up. So the thing is that there are some players who feed off of that. Like Kilo is definitely one of the players who feed off the energy of the stream chat. He's like mini Doran, because Doran 2K is the same way. Doran definitely loves watching stream chat when he's at the venue and will talk with people up before he goes up to play. Kilo's always in chat when the tournaments are going on. I turn that shit off because I don't want no distractions. So at this point, obviously the Chicago members in stream chat are popping off because they're like, let's go T-Bola, do this run back again. And of course, Sonic Soul, looking at the chat, probably end up having his game slowed down here. Alright. Is it immediately in the corner, which is already a really bad spot. In the corner situation, again, mashes out, gets perfected. This is already a huge momentum swing for T-Bola. Big, really big. But Sonic Soul is fighting back. That's the thing. He can fight back. If he gets offense going, this is what happens. You lose a ton of health. Which is why I've always said that it is really big to take out your opponents. Take out these guys. So, pretty much, T-Bola literally lost control of the situation once. And do you see the life deficit? My man's is supposed to die here. He is supposed to die here. Let's see what happens. So, I'll turn on the volume for this one because we need to watch. This is a huge. This is the biggest part of the entire exhibition. All right.
Okay, Big Mama. Mom, please. I would like a slice of pizza. Can you order from the place I like?
Now, here's the thing. I actually think this is not the worst decision, but it's also not the best decision. He did have an 80% life lead, so just blocking it out and watching out for the unblockable fire, not a bad idea.
Hit up the Uber Eats. Let Mama pay for that. But, I mean...
Ends up getting hit with the unblockable. He still has a major life lead here. So, at this point, he can still just pretty much kind of chill.
This is the hard thing. It's even if Sonic Soul gets hit here, it's not...
So, yeah. That was a hop into a green orb. They get comboed into the blue orb. And the 80% life lead he had is now at a deficit. So, this here is... Now we're in Scramble City.
Yo, hold on. The missiles, the jump over T-Bola. Let's go. Chicago's still alive in this boy. The deep dish, I told you.
All right. So, as you probably already heard me mention momentum shifts. That round was the biggest momentum shift in the entire freaking tournament. At that point there, T-Bola has already established that he is the dominant player in the moment right now. So that right there is a huge blow to Team New York, but it's also a huge morale boost to a lot of the Chicago players. Because now it's 2-4. We're still at a deficit, but it is but due to T-Bola pretty much stepping up to levels above and beyond, pretty much gives everyone on the team a little bit more of a morale boost to actually play a bit cleaner. So, go back, turn on this volume, and go back into the set. So, with that being said, and that being the issue, this was the biggest momentum shift in the entire tournament. At least in my opinion. I would say this is the biggest momentum shift for the entire exhibition. T-Bola pulling off the ridiculous comeback that he did right there to get things going. So, here's where things start to get questionable. Yeah. If he wouldn't have did hop, he would have been totally fine. If he didn't hop, he would have been totally fine in that situation. So it's like, blocking it out and spot dodging potential fire, even getting hit with the unblockable there, he still had a massive life lead. It's just that hop literally just like washed everything. So either execution error or he moved out of fear of potentially eating another, assuming he'd eat another unblockable. Either way, that was a decision that he made or an error on his end that cost him. So that is a huge deal. So with that being said, this is where I was confused at. So our order cannot change because T-Bola once again carried our bum asses to another win. So the thing is, I've been getting cooked by Najee. Why send Tega? Especially when I show that I can actually slow the game down fighting Tega. I haven't won, but I've slowed it down significantly more against him than I have against Najee. So after a momentum shift like that, the thing you don't want to do is have the other members of the team get some type of momentum. Because if one of the members are running on just running like crazy and on it, that's going to boost the other guys' morale. You want to keep the other guys' morale down. I don't agree with this decision, but I do understand that the matchup is a factor. Pretty much. So the thing was, this was a matchup pick rather than a choice to stuff momentum. Because if they put Najee out, I'm pretty sure I would have lost. Because I do believe I won this game. I could be wrong. But we'll go back. Whoa. So, yeah. But wait a minute. Okay. I gotta go back. Hold up. Time out. There is a shift that happened here. So, in this match here, funny enough, background story, when T-Bola got the second win, I actually got hit in a PM, and shout outs to the homie Mighty Mar, and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing, Chris? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you playing like shit? Get it together." It's like, so at this point I had pretty much pressure was put on me by someone who I respect a lot, and so pretty much I at this point was like, all right, this defensive game plan is not fucking working. I have to actually be the aggressor, even if Lancelot's on the fucking screen. I cannot play defensive against him because that's just going to lead to me losing this game. So I have fully committed on playing offense and disrespecting and maintaining the control of the momentum and the pace to a point that's so high outside of my comfort zone, but at least try to rattle Tega. So, as you see, I got very aggressive with him. Now I'm pretty much, it puts me at risk because I'm not chasing him. But, as you see, I'm getting a little bit more mileage here than I would beforehand. So, now Tega runs at me, trying to go ahead and slow me down. But I'm actually just fighting back. Yep, pressure, get the situation, called him out. Alright, so yeah. That pretty much what's happened was a momentum shift that Tega was not ready for it. So I ended up making a shift to go full on offense because we really needed it, and I needed Tega out of there. Because Tega is the player who has a better grasp of the low aim matchup. So if he's gone, our chances of getting a third point goes up, which we just took care of. So I did my job here to go ahead and take out Tega. This is the happiest I felt during the entire exhibition. So I felt that me taking out Tega was very huge, because I felt that at the time he was the only one that could really give T-Bola the biggest problem. So that helped us out a lot, which is why I didn't agree with the option, but I understand the choice. They went with a matchup pick rather than trying to stuff momentum. All right, then I end up having to fight Najee again. Going to this here, obviously I'm now having to having a very hard time because I'm immediately in the corner, and it's rough. So pretty much Najee was like, okay, he's gonna play offense. He's gonna be a bit more aggressive. As you can see here, I'm still being aggressive, but I'm still trying to play around the DP zone. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out. So the game plan there for me was to be aggressive, but I'm still conscious of the DP zone. And I'm still unsure of how to approach Najee in this current moment. So I'm kind of just mentally trying to piece it together, and it's just not happening. So now I'm like, okay, I need Kilo to get it together and play this match. So we end up sending Kilo. We have no other choice but to send Kilo up. So the thing is, in my mind, if Kilo takes out Najee, he then fights Sonic Soul. Even if he loses the Sonic Soul, T-Bola has shown that he's confident enough to deal with him. All right, and so getting put in the corner again. And the thing is that, like I mentioned, Najee just is outplaying Kilo in the footsie game and minimizing a lot of Kilo's options. But this is fucking Kilo. If you were wrong, you're dead. That's just a fact. We all know this. We all seen this man. If you are wrong and he has resources, you just lost the round. Going into round 3, losing the situation again, gets put in the corner immediately. DP's out to fight back. Pretty much both of these guys are swinging, but now he has such a life lead, and that right there gave Najee data that Kilo doesn't know how to actually punish that and deal with that. So he got a massive amount of chip for that. Kilo out here looks like efficient. Unfortunately gets hit with the anti-air. So even though Kilo didn't win the game there, he showed that there was a little bit of progress. The problem is that he's still falling for the same things. He's still taking the risk. And the thing is that I put him on a team knowing and understanding that, but the thing is that I need him in his gameplay, period, because it's unpredictable. It's a little bit on the aggressive side to the point where he's taking a lot more risks than necessary, but that can definitely help us out. And if we were to get a lead, but we're pretty much in a situation where we're fighting back, so pretty much it's up to pretty much up to me to try to get things together and get it moving, so I can get Kilo the easier match to fight Tega, because he had shown that he could confidently beat Tega. The problem is I'm still losing to Najee, and we're still relying on T-Bola. Even though I was able to take out Tega, it does take a bit of the load off of T-Bola, but it's still questionable on how everything gets approached here. It still puts a lot of pressure on T-Bola, but T-Bola pretty much is playing in another galaxy, and is literally backpacking Team Chicago, but not right now. He's in his corner, sent to the Shadow Realm, but that's whatever. I was very confident that T-Bola would still find a way to get it out, because he just got caught, but able to go ahead and capture. He's able to get Najee and able to force him to make a mistake. Jumps over, gets the corner immediately, but now he's in the corner, able to fight out. Nope, Doesn't fight out in this corner situation. Yggdrasil. See what happens here. And gets hit with the unblockable. So pretty much, as mentioned before, so I got the stream. I got the stream that happened after this. All right. So now, let me see. All right, I got the stream that happened after this. Okay. Yeah. I don't mind. So I should upload that so you can analyze it. Yeah, no problem. I don't mind doing an analysis stream on other stuff, on other videos and stuff. But yeah. So we are back at it again with the... Oh, he meant the Sonic Soul thing. Oh. Just shoot it to me. I'll see it. Yeah, just shoot it to me. Like, no, make it unlisted. I'll watch it. Alright, so. We're back at the same point in time where Sonic Soul is once again the anchor. So, at this point, I'm like, I'll be real. I'll be 100% real here. I was like, T-Bola got this. We pretty much are 3-4 now. Because the way he had been playing previously against Sonic Soul has shown me that he has his number right now. So, at this point, I'm like, he should not be the anchor after this. So, we're going to run through this. We pretty much already know what happens, but we're still going to run through it anyway. But, no, T-Bola able to get in really quick, but gets up getting mixed again. Offense getting started, as I mentioned before. Drops something, gives T-Bola momentum, and that sucks. Woo, that sucks. Did not get animation, so now he has to deal with this, and doesn't live. Alright, we're going to go back to something real quick. We're going to go back to something. We're going to talk about something real quick. We're going to talk about something real quick after this, because that we need to discuss that round start. Alright. This round start. This was a panic decision. This is not... This is a panic or anger decision. This was not a smart decision as a round start option. Stepping back a little bit for that move, known by all the Matera players, is unsafe. So he was either trying to hard call out a potential backdash, which wouldn't have hit because Lil Wayne has like a Dan-esque backdash. It would not have reached. Or he was calling him out to like try to press buttons at round start. But the problem is, I would not do this as a Matera player in the Lil Wayne matchup, mainly because of 214H existing. If he does 214H, that is a counter hit slash attack that then makes you get counter hit, knocked down, and now have to deal with Lil Wayne's bullshit. This was not a good decision, and I'm pretty sure he knows that after reviewing the tapes himself. And this is not in the round start option tree against Lil Wayne. Absolutely not. So, this is a very, very big no in the matchup for any Matera player. Don't do this. You will die. Like, hold on. Like seriously. Don't do this. You will die. Straight up. So, going back at it. We're going to go back into this. Let me go back a little bit because the video decided to just like blow up. blocks and punished as properly as it should. Alright, good challenge. Nice parry. Butterfly does not hit there. And ends up getting mixed in the corner. So yeah, pretty much that slide pretty much costs him literally everything. And it gives Team Chicago the 3-4 boost. So this right here pretty much is now them in a really tough situation. So now we're back at it. Once again, our order cannot change. So that means it's myself, Chris Chaos, Kilo in the middle, T-Bola at anchor. We now have a 3-4. We're at a deficit, but the deficit has been cut. We still are one game out from losing, but as you saw in the previous match, I ended up doing a gameplay shift and being offensive. So now, of course, with T-Bola winning again, it brings up the team morale even higher. So now I'm really pretty much feeling pumped that I can pretty much do whatever I need to do to try to get at least 1 or 2 people down. At this point, I'm like, right now, I need to make sure that I can at least deal with whoever comes up, and I believe they sent up Najee. Yep. They sent up Najee, and I told myself that I needed to beat Najee so that in the case that I lose to Tega, Kilo can get up and fight Tega, because he has beaten Tega every time they played each other, on the exception of once. So at least Kilo has a winning record against Tega. So now I'm at the point where I'm pretty much at an all-time high, and I'm going to, pretty much my mission is I gotta kill Najee. I gotta kill Najee. If I don't take out Najee, we're in big trouble. Alright. So, going back at this. I end up being very aggressive with him. Ends up costing me to get in a corner situation. And end up having to fight out. I'm trying to find my way in, but I end up slowing pace down. I'm just like, I need to be aggressive. Now, that went a lot better for me than our previous matches, so that pretty much just told me that I need to do a bit more of that, but I need to be more aware of the spacing. Alright. Just keeping out. Unfortunately, hopped into an uppercut. I got lucky there. Jesus fucking Christ. I got lucky there. I got fucking lucky there. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. So, I'm just going to fast forward. Alright. Pretty much, as I'm here, just establishing the neutral situation, I should not have done that hop. We are now in a corner. I should have been taking a... I'm lucky here, mainly because this fireball did not happen. This fireball did not come out. So I should have taken a lot more damage, which then, with this fireball coming out, gives this DP time to come back and more time for these cooldowns to recover for the Rekkas. So he would still, if he would have actually not dropped this combo, because I'm pretty sure this is what he wanted to come out, but didn't get it, he would have had the DP to check me, and he was in good range to pressure me until the Rekkas would come back. So I'll say that I got pretty lucky there, and I fight out. Ends up establishing the neutral situation again. Being careful, waited it out. Now, the thing about that is that even though that didn't kill, there's a reason why I did that. There's a reason why I went on ahead and cashed out there. It's mainly because I wanted Najee to know that I'm willing to wait and I'm going to punish him. And I needed to do something like, it was a decent punish from Matera, and it was all I could get. And could I have just did like auto combo into Fireball? Yeah, but it would not have swayed him to switch his decision making. I needed to cash out to just like, punched the dog in the nose. Because what happens next is actually very important. So, as you see there, he does have uppercut available. He decides to go with 2M. Instead of doing an uppercut, he goes with a much safer option. That pretty much means that I have been able to condition him with just one super. I was able to condition him to not do the wild option and make him go with the safer option, which is a big deal, which means I can be a little bit liberal with like my poking here. Now, because of that super, I was able to go ahead and maintain a neutral situation and get Najee to kill himself there. Because here's the funny part. He could have easily did SBA through all of that and took most of my life away, and I would have been in the corner, knocked down, with all his cooldowns available. But because of like me doing the super there to condition him to play a bit safer, I was able to get away with this. That's one of the things I like. No, you got to take into consideration of battle or war of attrition. Over time, you got to make sure that the decision that you're making is going to like help you like close things out in for later on down the line. All right, more zoning here. This obviously playing a lot safer than he was before. I'm able to get out, able to maintain control. Get out of the situation. Another cash out. I'm constantly doing this to make sure that, hey, you're going to go ahead and respect my space and respect my range. This is what I needed to do in the beginning of our set. I needed to do this from the very beginning. Well, at least I'm doing it now, but this should have been the way I established how to deal with Najee aggression early in. Because at the point, forced him to take a risk because of the life deficit, and I was able to get a spot dodge punish. So now, that is probably the second biggest momentum shift for our team. Because I had been struggling against Najee the entire exhibition until that point. And then with Najee going down, and then I had recently beat Tega 2 matches prior to that. And then that pretty much leaves Sonic Soul on the team as well, which I've also beat earlier in the set. Then puts pressure now on them. Because now I'm on fire. And T-Bola is on fire. And Kilo's in the middle. And if he sees us playing well, he's going to play well. So the morale of the team is at pretty much an all-time high now. And the Team New York is now backpedaling. So the thing is, T-Bola's still the anchor. Remember, we cannot switch our order if T-Bola has to keep coming up to deck to save our asses. So, T-Bola's the anchor. So, at this point, the smart decision would be to send up Sonic Soul. Sonic Soul cannot anchor against T-Bola. It has been proven in 3 games straight. He should not be in the anchor position. Who do they send up? Tega. Now, again, as mentioned before, this is a good choice via the matchup. They are not paying attention to what's happening in the team battle. I just beat a player I had a lot of time with. You then send someone who I beat twice earlier against me. I just got a huge momentum boost. The thing you should do is send the guy who had a close match with him. Also the mirror, because we both are not comfortable with it at this point in time when this was happening. And it was a very close match. I literally won because he had no cooldowns. I was able to take advantage of the situation. He knows that. He should have went up. And Tega should be the anchor right now because he's the only one who has shown that he can play against Luane. This was not a good decision on their part. So the thing is, even if I do lose, Kilo has a winning record on Tega. And the thing is that if you put Sonic Soul up and he beats me, Sonic Soul has an undefeated record on Kilo. He is living in Kilo's head rent free. So Sonic Soul, with the moment, if he beats me, he then has the momentum shift in his favor to then go fight Kilo and body him again, which he has been doing this entire freaking exhibition, to then now fight T-Bola and potentially could take that and win the exhibition himself, being the middleman. And even if he does come up short, you now pressure T-Bola to play against the player on the team that has the most experience against the character. This was a bad call. This was not a good call. And I have no idea why they went with this. And I know I sound very critical of this. Like, I get it. They want to play the matchup, but I have shown that I'm playing beyond the matchup now. You need to take the momentum from me. They did not do that. So, and especially if I gain momentum by fighting Naji, you should have sent Sonic Soul in. Because even if I would have fought Sonic Soul, it would have been even close, which then would have worn me down to go ahead and fight Tega. And Tega has shown that he can beat Kilo, so there still is a chance that he would have beaten Kilo. And then he would have to fight T-Bola. Now, that would mean that, like, Tega would have to OCV, which he did earlier. So he's shown he can do it. So this was a huge drop of the ball of just not thinking of the momentum shift occurring, like just pretty much momentum shift occurring on Team Chicago. So with that, we go into this where I'm playing out of my freaking mind because I'm like, everybody's got to go. I got to kill everybody. That's my mindset. As you can see, I'm running at Tega because it was working the last time. He is not adjusted to the momentum shift that I ended up placing, and now has to fight back in against a very aggressive Matera player, which is in Lancelot's favor, as you can see is happening now. It can work out well. This is why they put him up. However, it's not the best decision at the time. But going back at it, I'm slowing the pace down, slowing the game, and keeping everything in control, able to stop him from actually taking advantage, drop the super there. But with that being said, now I'm up. Now, not only did I beat Naji, the guy that I've had a hard time fighting, I've also now beaten Tega, who is where playing Lancelot, where is a bad match, is a not fun matchup for Matera. Now I'm pretty much like, bring me Sonic Soul, because at this point I have no faith in Sonic Soul's ability to OCV, because T-Bola has been cooking this man since the 5th game of this exhibition. So I'm pretty much like, you know what? Even if I lose, and even if Kilo falls short, I'm very confident in T-Bola picking up the ball and running with it. So I went in with this mindset of, hey, I'm going to just go ahead and just force my game plan on Sonic Soul and try to get a win. If I don't get a win, whatever. This right here is in my mindset. We already got this point where it's 4-4 in my mind. Alright? But, getting offensive. He wants to get offensive. Drops a combo there. End up having to fight each other out. I'm pretty much calling out and covering all the space I can to get advantage. Alright? Now, here's the thing. This is a situation that's very important because I remember the last time I had him in a range where he could use SSBA. He threw that shit at me when I hopped. So now I'm going to take the more safer approach of running up and stopping. Okay, pressure, keep him in the corner. Was able to open up with a low into fireball. So now I'm pretty much on match point. And Sonic Soul does the I'm gonna kick your ass thing. This is what he's good at. That's why he's good at it. He's very good at taking out people when he gets his offensive game going. However, that was my fault because I didn't stop him because I thought that he would adjust. He just pretty much ran at me. So with me knowing that, I now switch my game plan to call him out for a lot of those options. There it is. He likes doing a lot of mix-ups. So he's going to try to keep mixing me up. So I'm going to be disrespectful on the wake-up. And all that's going to do is frustrate him. And I'm going to go ahead and get the momentum from this. Get the corner, get the air throw, a sweep. wasn't at the safest range, but all right. Gets another throw, and he gets hit with a Street Fighter 5. So now we're 4-4. I just OCV'd, and we're back at even ground. New York is in trouble. Now, here's the thing. Our order now changes because I OCV. The order now is Kilo, T-Bola, Chris Chaos. They know this order because that's the rules. Now, if you know that Kilo is going to be up front, who are you sending first? For everyone who's been here for a while, who are you sending first? If you're Team New York and you know Kilo is on deck, who are you sending? And the answer, here we go. Shouts to Mix Up. He's a genius in the chat. Thank you. Why? Because Sonic has been filleting this motherfucker the entire fucking exhibition. So, that's who you should have sent up, because then, now, you go ahead and take out Kilo, and you force T-Bola to go ahead and have to fight Sonic Soul. If Sonic Soul comes up short, the next thing you would do is to, like, send up Najee. And so you send up Najee, who has shown that he can beat T-Bola if he gets his game going. But then at the end of the day, if he does come short, you still have Tega, who's shown that he can play against the matchup well. He's now your anchor. If he beats T-Bola, he then gets a momentum shift to now the match comes down to me versus Tega. And that's a toss-up, because we are literally even in this set. We're literally even in wins and losses against each other. And at that point, you have, it pretty much is a toss-up. I could win it, or he could win it. But doing that puts you in the best possible chance of winning this exhibition. So, the thing is this. What do they go with? Let's find out. Fast forward a little bit. So, Sonic Soul's on the chair, right? I'm like, damn, that's a good-ass decision. We gotta prepare for this. They thought about this, and this was the right decision. What the fuck? Like, what is happening? Why are they doing this? Why is he getting up? Holy shit. They're going with Najee. Which I kind of understand, because Najee can fight Kilo. But when you were up 4-0, and now it's down to 4-4, why not go with the quick momentum killer of sending Sonic Soul in? And so, we're going to go ahead and play this at normal speed, because this is actually the most crucial moment of the entire tournament.
So here we go. We got two captains on deck. Protagonist battle. No, it's me, Catalina. He's running the cat.
When I saw this happen, I knew we won. It was over. When I saw Najee went up there as Catalina instead of Vegeta, I knew we won this exhibition. There was no way in hell we were losing this when I saw this. This here just showed me that the entire team had collapsed. Because at this point, this is literally waving the white flag and telling the other team, you got it. And the worst part is you're waving the white flag at Kilo. Kilo! You're waving the white flag at Kilo? Like, so the thing is, like, I'll tell you how it looked from my end as an analyst for this whole thing. Because we pretty much know what the result is. We know what the order is. Because when I saw Najee go up, that told me that Sonic Soul was at anchor. Again. So I'm like, this is a pride pick. They like, Sonic Soul did not want to move off that anchor spot, even though it was the best decision to make at the time. That told me that pride kicked in and made him not move his ground from that spot, or it was a severe lapse in decision making, or a combination of the two. Especially when we were told before this thing started we couldn't character switch. So this should have been an outright DQ. But you know what? I am like, no, my team needs this. Kilo needs this. So I'm not saying shit. Because we aren't allowed to switch characters. That was discussed. So, this right here was a flat out DQ, or go back to go ahead and have him pick Vegeta. But here's the thing. Y'all. Why in the hell would I have Najee go back to Vegeta when he steps up to deck with Catalina, when Vegeta has been the problem for me and Kilo? Why the hell would I say something? Nah, so I let it rock. I let it cook. Because even in the end, even if he did lose, T-Bola wasn't losing to his cat. And even if he was to lose against freaking Tega, I felt confident enough to run it all the way back. I had just a momentum shift to where I had OCV. I'm at anchor. I'm in a high spot right now. Could I lose? Yeah, sure, that could happen. But with such a huge momentum shift, this was the worst decision they could have ever done. And that's why I say that, like, no, morale is a huge key when it comes to these team battles. Team composition, player composition, having someone to watch your back, having someone to cover your weaknesses, being able to understand what your opponents are doing and what they're good at and how to take things away. All that stuff comes into play in team battles. And also, not giving your opponents any fucking signs that you are wavering or giving up. So battle is these team battles are treated as war. You approach them as smartly as possible, as cautious as possible, and when things don't go well, you make sure that everyone has a solid backup plan. Now here's the thing. I know that they put Najee in as Catalina to deal with T-Bola because that matchup is not fun. However, even if that's the case, why are you putting him at point if T-Bola's in the middle? Which then told me they had no respect for Kilo. They were shitting on Kilo with this decision of, well, Najee been cooking him with Vegeta. Of course he'll cook him with Catalina. And then if he goes ahead and fights T-Bola and actually wins, then Chris has to run it back with an OCV. But I just pulled off an OCV. Could I lose in that situation? Yeah, sure, I could. But with such a momentum shift, why take that risk? If that was your game plan, Why not put Sonic Soul at point? Have him wash Kilo. Sonic Soul will then try to fight T-Bola, more than likely lose, and then you send Najee in to try the matchup out. And let's just say he wins. I'm not scared of Cat at all, whatsoever. If I had to choose between fighting Cat and Vegeta, I'm picking Cat all day. So then I'm fighting Cat. I beat Najee. Let's say I beat Najee's Cat. It's now me and Tega. I'm still on a momentum high, and I just beat this man 3 times in a row. So at the end of the day, it still comes down to the bad matchup. But I've shown that the bad matchup is no longer a factor. It is a momentum shift. But even doing that isn't a strong enough momentum shift to make me think, put the pressure on me. I'm going to thrive off of that shit because I'm like, well, I just came off an OCV. I just beat Najee's Catalina. I can definitely beat Tega's. I had to all I had to do is play it right, and I can win against Tega and win us this exhibition. They did not think about the consequences of this, and that is why when I saw this, that means they had no respect for Kilo, they had no respect for me, and they were afraid of T-Bola. And so this was Kilo's time to show that they fucked up. So let's go into it. Let us get into it and watch what the hell happens. Alright. Pretty much looks pretty solid, but Kilo looking a lot more comfortable fighting this matchup than he is fighting against Vegeta. A little bit of life deficit, but he's fine. Well, life lead you just had, now gone. And my man did not block on wake up, didn't do a DP or super, and lost the round. Now, Kilo's feeling hot. But yeah, he's up against the wall. Crucial point. This is a big turnaround here. No. Combo drop. Huge combo drop. Huge combo drop. Should not be dropping this combo. Oh, Kilo fighting back. And the Najee DP gets him washed. And now Kilo has the high ground, forcing a jump. Forcing a jump. That is definitely not the right decision there, and he knows that. But he had lost so much momentum and had the pressure on him to play with Cat to try to run it back that he ended up taking a risk that was not necessary, and it cost him the game. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is when I was like, we won. I didn't say it in our group chat because I don't want them to be in a false sense of comfort. I just kind of was like, good shit, Kilo. T-Bola will tell you that. T-Bola can tell you, even when we were 4-4, I was still calm. I was like, good stuff, just rooting my team on. I did not tell us that we won because I told them that this match is not over until there's a 5 over there. If you think I'm lying, hit up T-Bola. He right in the chat. I said this exhibition is not over until one of those scores is a 5. So, now, here's the thing. Now, Najee lost. Najee's out. You can still salvage this by sending Sonic Solo to take out Kilo. Because he has shown that he can beat Kilo for free. So the right answer is to send Sonic Soul up because Kilo just got momentum and you need to kill it now. Who did they send? Tega. So, as I said, going into this, when I saw that Tega stepped up, and I knew that T-Bola was in the middle because of the order shift, and I'm at anchor, I was like, if Kilo wins this, it's fucking over for real, for real. Because Sonic Soul is not OCV. It's not happening. Because even in the case that he does beat T-Bola, I'm not, and at this point, with the confidence level I'm at, and how, and like, you know, and me showing that I can deal with him, I'm at a high confidence level and comfort zone to play in the mirror right now against him. Could I lose? Yes, there's a possibility. There's always a possibility. Probability of me losing is pretty low, though. Momentum shifts is a real thing. People do not understand that. Pretty much. So, like, at the end of the day, I was like, well, you know, we'll see what happens. So, Kilo is now playing in the game that I know that he's good for. That he plays well. He's a landmine. You give him time and space to play, he will explode you. You step on a landmine, you're gonna lose limbs. Alright, so there's a key important part coming up real quick. Let me bring down the speed here real quick. So, pressure corner situation, fireball. Why did Kilo sweep when he saw a fireball? That's gonna be very important in the upcoming further on down the line. Yep. Sweep, super. Tega should have made. Oh, this right here is Tega making a sure shot, clear note that he's trying to sweep he's trying to attack me doing Gorilla Blade. He's trying to you Gorilla Blade, and Kilo dropped the super here. So he got EX Fireball. More pressure. Pressure situation. Alright. He still did it anyway. And even though he didn't do sweep, he reacted with Tempest Blade. This is right here where I was like, yep, this shit's over. This shit's hella over. This shit is hella over. I did not see Tega winning this. At this point, I was like, Kilo's got it. Pressure situation. Pressure situation. Here's the corner. Good. He just has all control. Loses it a little bit here, but gets the corner situation. Fireball. Uppercut. Kilo risk. But the life lead is like, you know, okay, I'll live with it. That's fine. You know, he's not going to die from it. Good escape. Kilo. My mans. You could have died there. But you know what? That's fine. It got us a win. It got us a win, and it was the silliest looking thing I have ever seen. Easily the silliest looking thing I've ever seen. Because he literally did the exact same thing literally 15 seconds ago. So, this was Tega thinking that Kilo was conditioned to not DP again after boot from that range. But Kilo went ahead with a dice roll and took the gamble, and the gamble won. But here's the thing. I can say whatever I want about Kilo, but this is the reason why I put him on the team. Situations like this. Because if he's winning doing stuff like this, that makes it very hard for the other team to it puts a stress value on the team, on the opposing team, of having to deal with a player who's willing to take the risk and the gamble, and 50-50 you with special moves, especially in a high pressure situation. Remember, 4-4. And now, Kilo is one game away from OCV. So, at this point, oh yeah, another key crucial point coming up. Let's get there. So, I'm going to let this play out a little bit. Let's let this play out a little bit. Let's invite him.
See the letters NYC in that chat. You understand me? Because Sonic's supposed to do all this, right? No, actually, I'm sorry. Sonic's out.
Key crucial point.
Who's left? Who's left? Tell me, Dan. Who's left? Who's left to take on Kilo?
Oh man, no, Sonic Soul's still up. It was Najee and then Najee and then Tega. It's Sonic Soul. It's the anchor.
What did I mention about waving a white flag earlier? What did I mention about what did I mention about the waving the white flag in team exhibitions? You don't do that shit, or you don't do anything that makes it look like you're doing that shit. Not at all. Because all this did was just made everyone be like, even if Kilo loses, it's good. You literally put... this is not putting the opponents in a false sense of security. It's like, we want Kilo to get an OCV, but we know that Sonic Soul has been beating him, so even if he does, he still has to fight T-Bola, who he hasn't beaten, since Game 4. So, well, since Game 5, I should say. So, at this point, I'm like, even if Kilo loses, T-Bola's got it. And even if Sonic Soul gets it together, he has a huge momentum shift, but I'm willing to play under the pressure to play him in the mirror again. And even if we lose, at this point, we came back from an 0-4 deficit to close the gap. So everyone walks out of here looking good. Even if we lost this 5-4 here, everyone comes out of this exhibition looking good. But this, all I can do is my best. Saying something like that is a sign of mental weakness and pretty much puts blood in the water. So, at this point, I already knew that we won when Najee stepped up as Catalina, but this confirmed everything. This already told me that the strongest player mentally on the team was Tega. But Tega was not calling the shots here. That's what this whole thing tells me from this last set. Because had that been the case, the order would have been, as we discussed earlier, to give them a better chance to win, because once again, Team Chicago is on their last legs. They can't switch their orders. Whatever they got, whoever is the winner is now the anchor, and you are stuck in that order.
It's the captain of the team.
That right there,
Lord Jimmy Bones, I saw you talking off that mess. Best believe you owe me a piece of pizza when you come through. You understand me? Best believe
We'll turn out the volume. We'll bring up the speed. So, I'm at this point where I'm like, if Kilo OCVs, everyone's a god. Everyone's godlike. If Kilo doesn't OCV, T-Bola's got it. If T-Bola loses, I'll clean it up. That's where we're at right now. And at the end of the day, even if we don't win, T-Bola still helped us get a freaking comeback a potential comeback of the ages. I was able to also get an OCV, and we all look good in the end. But this is where we're at right now. Kilo starting to actually look pretty good. But unfortunately, not keeping his pressure tight enough. As we mentioned earlier, keep the pressure tight on these guys. And so, because of that, finds himself in a defensive position, takes a risk. Kind of worth it, but it overextends. Sonic Soul whoops that ass. Now, gets offensive. Hanging back, playing his own game, pretty much keeping Kilo in check. Call him out, constantly keeping that space. Playing at range 3. Oh, goes for range 1. Ends up getting the hit. And ends up winning 2 rounds straight. Which, if you see that, right? In most cases, if someone ends up stopping a run like that, for a player that's at the anchor, that usually shows signs of life. But due to what we saw so far in this set, it already tells me that he's already like, no, done. He's mentally checked out. So, because the order changed, guess who's no longer at anchor? T-fucking-Bola. He is now in the middle. Sonic Soul, as the anchor, just showed that he should have been the one at point to fight Kilo to slow down the momentum. And then he would have to fight T-Bola, and let's just say he loses. You then get to test out your Catalina pick as Najee. But then at that point, I would have called it out and been like, nah, Najee gotta play Vegeta, because T-Bola had been cooking his Vegeta the entire time. Because I would have definitely called it out if that was the case. So you gotta think about that. We weren't supposed to carry the switch. So I would have called it out then. And I'm like, nah, you can't carry. I'd have said something like, hold up, nah. Go back to Vegeta. What are you doing? Because I know for a fact that I'm not willing to risk a gamble on T-Bola versus Najee's cat when I know that T-Bola can deal with his Vegeta and we can't carry the switch. That's why I was willing to take the bet with Kilo, because I saw Kilo getting freaking cooked by Vegeta. And with Cat out there, I'm like, well, this is probably better. But if T-Bola's out there, I'm definitely saying something. But, like I said, team battles. You ain't gonna say shit if it benefits you. You gonna shut the fuck up. If there's a problem, you'll say something. But at that point, that benefited our team. So, I just shut the hell up and let it rock. And it paid off. And so, back to this. So, going here. Might have to turn this down to 2, because this is kind of high pace. So, Sonic Soul doing the whole, I don't know the matchup, so I'm going to kick his ass. T-Bola fighting back. Sonic Soul not blocking Catbot. Doesn't work out. T-Bola used a lot playing defense. Cleaning it up. Paying attention. Yep. 2H. Not letting Sonic Soul get a lot of things that he wants. Blocks the Sonic Soul special. Ends up getting thrown, but able to fight out. Thrown again. Calls out the boys. Jumps. Bad decision. Ends up getting caught. When I saw that, I was like, this shit is over. So now, Sonic Soul has to clean it up a lot. So, tries to run him down. T-Bola's ready this time. Now, Sonic Soul is running. He is running. Well, gets away his space. Loses space. Loses momentum. Running. Running again. Running again. He ran himself into the corner and died. Mental overload. Also the pressure of being an anchor. Also having the pressure of the guy who lost to 4 times in a row being in the middle rather than at the end was just not a good decision. This actually brings back up the story I brought up about my 5v5 for Guilty Gear. Sonic Soul had shown that he is not the proper player to be at point at this time. Somebody on that team should have took control and been like, look, I know you want to play anchor. This ain't it. And bumped his ass to fight Kilo to stop any type of momentum shifts. This whole exhibition, this whole turnaround could have been avoided had someone taken control. Because at the end of the day, I could easily tell from, even though it was a whole thing that started off with me and Najee, and it was technically my team and Najee's team, it was technically Sonic Soul's team. And how the exhibition played out, this was T-Bola's team. So, we essentially seen the 2 team captains here playing it out and just getting flat out outplayed here. As soon as T-Bola got onto his into his rhythm, because I just want to like put this where it's put, like how
seen it. Yo, Sonic Soul pushing the corner. To confirm,
T-Bola,
they're all working
he's
out.
on the move. He's on the move right now. The parry doesn't do anything.
hungry.
We hungry right now.
Yeah.
T-Bola
We
trying to
hungry for
move
good
through.
pizza.
Like,
He's trying to set up the Catalina bot. Okay, Sonic Soul deciding to put some arrows down with the pressure. Here comes Sonic.
no.
Here comes T-Bola with the conversion.
So we want to
The
see
run under
It
conversion.
just falls apart.
from behind.
Where you going? Yo, here come the
Flip
homies again.
flip out the
Don't you
bottles.
dare. Don't you dare jump. We coming anyway. I told you. It takes a while to cook the pizza. Now it's done. Have a taste. Take a big old bite. Take a huge chunk of that pizza. Because you know what? It's still going to be there afterwards. Just like Chicago was still there in the reverse, the run back sweep. I told you in the beginning. We're the second city. It takes some time. We had to come up and work. We're not the first city. We're the second city because we rise up when the ashes settle down. You're not going to stop us, just like you're not going to stop Team Chicago from telling you the pizza is good and it's the best.
Oh my God.
Let me just say that New York pizza is trash.
Jeez.
You're trash for eating it, and your pizza sucks. Don't ever offer me a slice. I will put that shit in the trash where it belongs. Just like that was trash gameplay. Yo, Chicago, let's go.
Because I deserve this. I didn't hear it.
I'm out.
I didn't hear it.
What you've seen here is a display of resilience, preparation, and determination. Do not doubt Chicago when it comes to our ability to take the long set. That's all I got to say.
Well said, Dan. Well said. All right. So, the reason why he did low shot there was a panic situation. The thing is 3 hits, and it would give them a momentum shift that would definitely help them out. Hold on a second. Let me see. Let me check something out. It's Alright, so the thing is that at the end of the day, he lost control. He did not know the matchup. And neither did Najee. Tega had some instances of understanding how the matchup went. So it definitely was a good call to have T-Bola because he was for sure the X factor. And after watching all this, I'm pretty sure everyone would agree that T-Bola is the MVP of this entire exhibition. I don't think there's a secret about that. So, that's why when we were going with the when we were going with the 3v3 exhibition and I wanted to pick teams, I made damn sure that before I accepted that T-Bola was on board. Because he gave us the best chance of winning. Everyone be like, why would you bet on Wayne? Why would I bet on Wayne? Because honestly, he's a good player, and 2, they don't know the matchup. That will definitely play a huge part in the exhibition. Tactics, strategies, all that comes into play. And if you keep up with your strategies and tactics throughout a fight, you can get a win no matter how bad it looks. Even if it starts bad, if you're not out of it, you can still, if you strategize and study properly, you can still get the W. That's just a fact. This is just pure case of fact. We could have easily lost this 5-0. We could have easily lost 5-0. But people, like with T-Bola playing the way that I know that he's capable of doing, Kilo pretty much coming in the clutch towards the end, me finally getting my bearings together and playing the way that I should be playing, figuring out what I need to do and changing up the pace, it got us a W. So, like at the end of the day, it was a really big deal. But when it comes to fighting games, everyone's like, yes, matchups is very important, frame data is very important, but that's all good and all if you have all that stuff. But let's see. Remind me to keep tabs on you for advice on strategy. For sure. Should we in the Discord? You can holler at me. So the thing is, you also need strategy to win. You can go in knowing the matchup. You can also go in and like have like understanding of frame data and such. But if you go in without a plan, you can still get cooked. So, let's see, I'll give you strategy tips. Quit in 5 years. I can play the game. Shoot, but yeah. So let me go ahead and put this back on here. So this exhibition here ends up coming out with Chicago 5, New York 4, and a reverse 5 game comeback. And it goes back to my motto. Once again, I ain't trying to be respectful. I'm trying to win. And in order to win, you gotta have strategy. Strategy is king. I don't care what nobody says. Strategy is king when it comes to fighting games.